federal and state assets. The second phase of this operation will consist of healing the community. Captain Anthony Martinez, the Southeast Policing District Commander, will be overseeing this operation. And what that consists of is getting out into the community and talking to them and helping them heal. We'll be providing services to the victims and their families and offering them support. But we'll also be putting on additional resources in the Southeast Policing District to deal with this issue, as well as several other Asian gang-related violence that occurred in Southeast Fresno, excuse me. I'd like now to introduce Deputy Chief Pat Farmer, who will be overseeing the Asian Gang Task Force. Thank you.
Chief Hall. As Chief Hall mentioned, in response to this mass shooting that we had, the Fresno Police Department is standing up a task force specifically to assist our homicide unit in not only solving this particular crime, but also preventing any retaliation leading up to Long New Year, which generally starts the day after Christmas all the way through January 1st. So this task force will be spearheaded by Captain Dennis Bridges, that is in our investigations unit. And part of the task force will include our multi-agency gang enforcement consortium, MAGIC, along with our special response team, our traffic officers, our adult compliance team, also known as ACT. We're also bringing in our Special Investigations Bureau, which is Major Narcotics, our Vice Intelligence Unit, as well as CCAT, our Career Criminal Auto Theft Team. And we also have been in conversation with OES, the Office of Emergency Services, who have offered resources as well. In conjunction to the local and state, we have our federal partners standing behind me with the FBI, ATF, as well as HSI, and the U.S. Attorney's Office and the District Attorney's Office, who are all bringing their resources to assist us in this investigation. So one thing I could tell you is that we are going to use every resource available to us to solve this crime and to prevent any future retaliation down the road. So we are looking at this as a team effort to prevent future violence and to hold those who committed this horrific act accountable. So with that said, I'd like to now turn it over to Captain Anthony Martinez, who will talk about the community approach.
Thanks, Chief. I am Captain Anthony Martinez. I'm the Southeast District Commander. Last night's incident took place in my district. Wanted to tell you just a quick synopsis or a quick briefing of what that neighborhood is where this took place. It's approximately a 10-block neighborhood in the Southeast Policing District, and there are a lot of Hispanic and Southeast Asian families. Of the Southeast Asian families, there is a large number of Hmong families in that neighborhood. It took place last night, just as it shocked my officers that arrived there. It has shocked that whole neighborhood. And it's now my job as a Southeast District Commander to make sure that we let them know that we're here with them and we're going to help them through this too. Because that entire neighborhood was victimized when this took place. As Chief Farmer has mentioned, beginning within an hour of the incident last night, we were already deploying additional resources to proactively make that area safe, to stabilize the violence, to do everything that we could to ensure that there was no further retaliation that stemmed from this incident. By this morning, we had already pulled 3 of my Southeast Asian officers that work in other special units and have assigned them to the Southeast Investigations Unit to help with translation and just a better feel for what goes on in that neighborhood. We called them out last night, and by 10 p.m., officers that I normally have on day shift that start at 6 in the morning were out last night talking to people and just trying to calm things down and let them know that they're here, and they were doing it in the Hmong language. This is something that Southeast prides itself in, is being able to reach out and connect with our community. This is an emergency now in this neighborhood, and we're doing all we can to calm things down. We will be going door to door on Lamona and some of the other surrounding blocks and speaking with everyone and just letting them know that we are here for them. We want the citizens of Fresno to know that we're doing everything we can to calm the violence and ensure that this doesn't spark in any other neighborhood in Fresno, specifically in that neighborhood where this took place last night. And on top of that, as Chief Hall has mentioned, I'm also working with my officers that responded to this call. A lot of times we miss that piece. Just as I tell you, I'm going to work with that neighborhood to make sure that we let them know that we're there for them and make sure that they're okay. I also want to make sure that my officers are okay. I had 12 officers last night that responded to a scene of chaos and tried to figure out who they could help and prioritize life-saving measures. I had 2 of my officers that were covered in blood and actually had to be decontaminated, go shower, and change their uniforms based on what they landed in and were trying to fix. They're hurting a little bit in that neighborhood right now, and my officers are hurting too, and we're gonna do everything we can to get this matter resolved on all levels, as Chief Hall has stressed. Chief?
Thanks, Anthony. I'd also like to introduce our district attorney, Lisa Smith.
Thank you, Chief. Good morning, everyone. Today is a very sad day for all of us here in Fresno. I'd like to first offer my condolences to the families who have lost loved ones, to the entire Hmong community and all the residents of Southeast Fresno. There are hundreds of thousands of decent, loving, hardworking people that live in this community, and the fact that this type of activity is being highlighted in the national and international news media is heartbreaking to all of us who live here and are proud to be residents of Fresno. We all are so proud to represent the wonderful people of this community, and we want everyone to know that this is not typical behavior for Fresno. I want to thank Chief Hall and the Fresno Police Department for their leadership in coordinating the task force to investigate this senseless crime. The DA's office will be here to support the Fresno Police Department in any way that we can, and we too are grateful for the support of our federal partners at the United States Attorney's Office, the FBI, HSI, and ATF. We will work tirelessly to bring these violent criminals to justice, and I can promise you all that as soon as they are apprehended, we will prosecute them to the fullest extent of the law.
Before I open it up to questions, I would like to offer my condolences to the families, the friends, and the entire community who were victimized by this senseless act. I'd also like to echo what Captain Martinez said about our officers and what they had to witness, and our first responders of what they went through tonight or last night. And I agree that we will be helping the community heal, and we'll be assisting the families of these victims. Right now, our focus for the Fresno Police Department will be to apprehend the suspect responsible for this. We will have a single mission until we do that, and we will not rest until we arrest them. And that time, once we have that closure, then we will work on our officers, and we will help them deal with the situation and recover from the trauma that they've also witnessed. I want to thank both our federal and state partners who have not only reached out to me, but responded to the scene almost immediately. They were out there, and I have gotten nothing but complete support and cooperation from all of our federal and state assets. So I'd like to again thank them for all their support. I'll now open it up to questions.
Chief, I want to know, first of all, I'm with CBS News, sorry what your city is going through right now. I want to ask you, refer to gangs, Asian gangs, and I want to get some specifics from you. Is this a gang-related incident? Were all the people inside, the 30 or so people, were they from one distinct Southeast Asian community? And why are you worried about retaliation?
Well, anytime we have I'll take your last question first. Anytime we have a major event, the first concern we always have is retaliation. There is no indication that this residence or anyone at the residence were affiliated with the gang. However, whenever we have a major incident like this, we always look towards criminal and gang activity. So it always becomes the focus of our investigation. But at this time, I would like to let the community know that this house is just a family event. And everybody that were at this residence are truly victims. However, we don't know everybody that was there, and we don't know what their association is, and we're looking into every angle.
Chief, can you tell us out of,
One distinct Asian Southeast.
It does appear that they were from the Hmong community of the Southeast Asian community.
What do
Chief
we
Hall,
know
can you
about the
tell
two
us-
suspects so far?
At this point, we have little information because it was so dark. We know there's at least 2 suspects, both armed with pistols, appeared to be semi-automatic pistols. We found multiple shell casings at the scene, and they fled on foot. We have no further information at this point, but we are investigating several leads.
Chief,
Hall,
can you
David
tell
Talbot,
us-
TV Wire. Are the victims cooperating? Are they able to provide anything that they saw? Is there 16 people in the backyard? How have they been cooperating with police so far?
Again, these are really pillars of our community. These are working families, these are working community members. This is part of our community, this is our culture. They've been very cooperative, obviously they're extremely upset, but we've received nothing but cooperation from everybody at the house.
Did
Chief
anybody
Hall-
at the party itself have weapons?
There's no indication that there were any weapons in the at the house. There was a weapon that was non-functioning inside the residence that was never used, and it was not involved in this incident. So the answer to that question is there was no other weapons other than those owned by the suspects.
Do we know how long the suspects were shooting?
This happened very fast. Again, once they entered the backyard, they fired randomly into the crowd. It does not appear that they were targeting any individuals. And they fired, once they fired their round, they fled. So it was almost immediate.
Chief
mentioned
Hall,
a
do we know if
previous
this is
disturbance.
related to the 187, Sunday's 187 of the Hmong man that was killed?
Again, that was another Southeast Asian shooting, a homicide. We do not know if they're related. Obviously, we are looking in to see if there is a connection, but this time I cannot say that they are related.
You mentioned that there was a disturbance.
It does indicate that some of the members who were attending the football party were involved in a disturbance during the prior week. We are looking to see if there's a connection between that disturbance and last night's shooting. However, we have no indication that those two are connected at this point.
Was there an online aspect to this football viewing party, and did that have some nexus to this? Was there somebody who realized through an online aspect that they wanted to have retribution on somebody at that party?
We have no indication that this is related to any online event. It does appear to be very targeted, that they were going to this specific address, but it does not, at this point, appear to be any online connection.
Captain, you referenced a disturbance possibly earlier in the week that may have been related to the perpetrators and or the victims. Can you tell us more about that disturbance?
Again, I can't tell you much. It's still an ongoing investigation. All I can tell you is that there were several people at this party who were involved in a disturbance in the week prior, and we're just looking to see if there's a connection. We're not indicating that there is. It's just one of the leads that we're following up on.
Chief, whose house was it?
It was one of the residents of the group. I'm not certain of the name of who owned it, but it was owned by the group that were having the party.
Was that
Chief, can you
disturbance a
describe-
homicide? Was that previous disturbance a homicide?
No, it was not. That was just a fight. Officers were called out. However, no case was written, as most of the individuals who were involved in the disturbance had already left the scene.
Can you describe, please, how the suspect entered the house from the front door to the backyard?
Yes. Again, they did not enter into the house itself. They entered into the backyard through a side gate, which was unlocked, and went down the side of the house into the backyard.
Did they say anything before they opened fire?
There was no indication that there were any exchange of any words. Witnesses only indicated they saw the muzzle flash from the weapons.
Do we know how many shots they fired?
Multiple shots, more than 10.
Did any of the people, you said there were a few people in this group in the backyard, I assume they were in the backyard, who were involved in a disturbance earlier in the week, and you're trying to see if it's connected. Did any of those people who were involved in that disturbance survive, and are they talking to police?
believe they did, some of them did survive, and again, we are getting full cooperation from everybody at the residence, and I want to stress that this is a truly a good group of people, and we're just simply having a party. And so we're getting excellent cooperation from everybody that attended this event.
And could I follow up on that? The idea that this could be, and I know you haven't said it is, but could be, and we have to look at every aspect, could be related to a previous disturbance. Was that brought up by some of these people who survived when they talked to your officials? Did they inform them, well, look into this?
I believe not only did we receive it from that, but we've also received indications from outside sources. Again, I haven't been that deeply briefed on the investigation, and again, it is unfolding. It occurred last night. So I can't completely answer your question, but I know we are getting cooperation, not only from the group that were at the residence, but also from friends and family of the group.
Chief, could you just summarize again, you guys touched upon this a little bit, but there has been a bit of a language barrier. You've been able to bring in some officers that speak Hmong, but can you talk more about how much of a challenge that is and some of the other challenges that you guys are facing with this investigation?
It's my understanding that most of the people at the party spoke English, and others spoke limited English, so we were able to communicate pretty well with everybody at the residence. But we did bring in Southeast Asian Hmong officers so that they could communicate in their language. And one is that brings a closeness and gets them to realize that we're part of the community, the police department, and we're with them. But it also increases their comfort level as they communicate with us.
Chief, what's the location of the disturbance?
I'm not gonna give that out right now.
Was the owner of the residence injured at all?
I'm sorry.
Was the owner of the residence injured at all?
I do not know if the owner was, it does not indicate that the owner was injured.
And the two suspects, are they also Southeast Asian?
We do not know what race they were at this point. Again, all we have is two subjects that fled the scene.
What's the level of simmering violence in that neighborhood? I know there have been some recent shootings there, and is it possible that all of this is connected then?
Well, we have had some issues in that neighborhood, but this is not considered a problem neighborhood for us. There was not significant or really any calls for service at this individual residence that I've been made aware of. But I can tell you that the neighborhood is relatively quiet, and it's a working class, middle class neighborhood.
Why is this incident, why is this incident the impetus for creating the Asian gang task force when, you're not sure that it is, you said that the house, people at the house, there's no indication that they're involved in gangs, so why is that? Why?
We've had 3 incidents in November involving Asian gangs. We've had 11 incidents over the year involving Asian gangs. We also have our Hmong New Year celebration coming up in December and in January, which draws thousands of people, not only from within our community, but from outside our community. And we want to make sure that we're ahead of this before we have this influx of Southeast Asian members of our community arrive.
Has there been a prior Asian gang task force within the City of Fresno Police Department?
Again, we haven't seen a spike in Asian gang violence in a while, and we're starting to see it now as we're heading into the Hmong New Year celebration. We just want to get ahead of it, and there have been a task force that have been established in the past for Asian gangs.
And what do you think the reason for the uptick now? Have you spoken with the district commanders in that area to see what the problems have been?
Again, we're investigating the uptick. It could be anything from a disturbance that carried over. Again, I'm not relating it to last night's incident, but the increase in gang violence could be somebody was released from jail or prison recently, or it could be just a domestic dispute that grew.
Chief, you got any good video leads or on video suspect on cars or anything like that?
Any surveillance video?
Yeah, again, I'm not going to comment on the investigation at this point. I can tell you that we are going door to door, and we are looking for any video cameras that are available. We are also searching the exterior for our video policing cameras so that we can look at intersections to see what type of vehicles we're leaving the scene. So we are going through every video camera, but I'm not going to comment on the investigation at this point.
And
What's your message for the gunman?
Excuse me?
What's your message for the gunman?
Well, my message is, one is, we're coming for you. We've got a single focus within the organization, and that this is not going to be tolerated. in the southeast community or in any community in Fresno. So we will be out full force, not only in the district, making sure that incidents don't flare up, but we'll have a combined state, federal, and local effort to apprehend.
Is there a concern that these suspects may strike again, or do you think it's just a very targeted incident towards the people at the home?
Well, obviously, I'm concerned about any further acts of violence. This suspect or suspects have shown a disregard for human life by just spraying bullets into a crowd of people. Thankfully, the children were inside the house at the time, but they could have just as easily been injured or killed. So obviously, I'm very concerned about further acts of violence.
And you said if there was-
How many officers do you have on this right now, detectives?
I don't have an actual count, but I would say it's in excess of 60 officers.
Will you be increasing police presence in the neighborhood?
Absolutely. Starting last night, we brought in additional resources into the neighborhood, and those will be increased as we continue our investigation.
And you mentioned that there was-
The people you've spoken to who were at this gathering, have they told you that they believe that this was retaliation or gang-related?
Again, they are as concerned and as frightened as I am. They have not indicated that this is related to any gang activity or any retaliation. Again, they've been very cooperative. We have no reason to believe that they aren't giving us every bit of information they have, but we have not had that indication.
And you mentioned that there were multiple shell casings that were found. Can you describe, I think you kind of mentioned the types of guns or that we know that were used?
Again, all I will tell you right now is that there were multiple weapons used, or multiple shell casings found of different caliber, and they were pistol caliber, not rifle.
Do you have the names of the victims?
I do not have the names of the victims with me right now. I am still waiting to ensure that the family has been properly notified. All I have right now for you is the ages.
Was it a coincidence that they went after just the men, or was it just that the men were in the backyard? Because many of us thought right away, well, they're targeting men, not children or women.
Yeah, I believe as the evening, again, this is just my belief, I believe as the evening continued into the night, the cooler air came and the children and some of the women went into the house to watch TV, and the men were outside watching the football game. So it was just purely luck that they were separated at that time.
And we're told that one of the men that died was a well-known singer in the Asian Hmong community. Are we able to?
Yeah, at this point, I'm going to ask Hal Yang to step up and kind of address some of the community issues.
First of all, I'm going to thank Chief Hall and Fresno PD for their quick response. You know, it's a dark day in our community, not only in our Hmong community, but I think in our Fresno community. I'd like to ask the press and folks to also respect the family in the incident. To answer your question, two of the victims that passed away are well known in the Hmong community. I represent the Fresno Center. We're a nonprofit organization in Southeast Fresno. They come out and perform to our mental health clients, you know, every year, especially gearing up for the Hmong New Year. A lot of these folks are scheduled to perform at the Hmong New Year. And these are people that are near and dear to us. I don't see any gang affiliation with these folks. Like Chief said, very disturbed. At the moment, I don't know what to say. Community elders are calling Fresno Center for assistance. I also want to thank Mayor Lee Bryan. I know he's on vacation. He also called earlier today. I want to thank Chief Paul for letting me know as well yesterday of the incident. But I ask that the press don't spend this any other way. I know it's still in the early stage of investigation, but I want to thank everybody for their support. Our community is in mourning. We still don't know what's going on or who are the suspect. So I'm thankful to be here to address and to represent our Hmong community. Thank
Can
you.
you clarify, sir, about one of our colleagues has mentioned that one of these people, you mentioned two of them were well-known, was one person at least a well-known singer?
Yeah, both of them were well-known singers. And one of them that died at the hospital was the one that come out almost every few months to sing to our mental health clients when we have our workshop and games.
Can you share their names, please?
I probably won't share personally. I'll let the Fresno PD address that. This is their case, not my case. Thank you.
Lastly, I'd like to introduce Dale Mendoza. Dale is a president of our Crime Stoppers program, and he would like to go over some of the reward money that is available in this case. Dale?
Thank you, Chief. I'm Dale Mendoza. I'm the president of Valley Crime Stoppers. What a terrible situation we have in our community here, and I send our regards to the family. At this particular time, we are going to offer a $5,000 cash reward to anyone with information leading to the arrest of these bad guys. In this city, we need help. If we've ever needed help, we need this community to come together now to try to solve this awful, terrible crime. And at that point, if anybody knows anything, sees anything, or hears anything, please call us at 498-STOP. And it's a $5,000 reward. And you will not be, it's anonymous, completely anonymous. We don't know who you are. Matter of fact, we don't know who you are, and we do need the help of the police department to solve this crime. So any help would be greatly appreciated, and it is a cash reward. Thank you.
Okay, well,
Is there going to be a
Can you just touch briefly on what is the role of FBI, DHS, and ATF in this investigation?
all of those agencies bring a lot of expertise. They also bring a lot of equipment, as well as resources that assist us in the investigations.
There's been an uptick in mass shootings across California in the last 72 hours or so. Fresno prepared to deal with this?
Well, I would like to just say that I was out at the scene last night, and I watched the professionalism of our officers, and not only our officers, but the first responders from the Fresno Fire Department and American Ambulance. They were all, it was a horrific scene, and they were very professional and very methodical in their approach to saving lives. So I think I'm just so proud of all of our first responders that responded to this event.
Is there going to be any vigil for the community? Any vigil tonight for the community?
Any
Vigil in the morning.
Oh, I don't know. I'll be working with POW and the community to see how we're going. Thank you for asking.
Can we get Powell's full name? I'm sorry.
POW Yang?
Yes. Thank you.
And
Community involvement is critical. Like Dale said, any information the community has, we would like to receive. That can be done either through the police department or anonymously through Crime Stoppers. And we will also be reaching out to whatever leads we can develop as far as any video or any statements from community. So we'll be putting all that together in the near future.
Chief, there have been several elected leaders reacting to this incident last night who put it in the context of gun control. Are there any gun control measures you think that might have been able to stop them doing this?
Well, right now, we're involved in a homicide investigation involving 4 victims, 6 others that are injured. We have a grieving community, and we have an ongoing homicide investigation. And at this point, I'm not going to comment on any politics or political issues involving guns. I'll leave that up to the politicians, who I'm sure will follow.
Again, you said two are still in the hospital or who have been released?
2 of the 6 are still in the hospital recovering from their injuries. At this point, they are considered stable condition.
Can you tell us more about the crimes that make you believe there's an uptick in Southeast Asian or Asian gang violence?
Well, we just had again, it's all in the Southeast Policing District, and this is the largest grouping of Southeast Asians we have in Fresno. And we have seen an uptick in violence related to the Southeast Asian community. Most of this has been gang-related. Again, I'm not indicating that this event was gang-related, but I can tell you the other events in the Southeast District have been identified as being gang-involved.
And Chief, just to clarify, is that uptick the only reason why you're suspecting that this could be gang-related, or is there possibly anything else?
Again, I'm not indicating that this is a gang-related incident of the shooting we're having the press conference about. What I am indicating that is we always look at gang involvement in any violent crime, and we try to rule it out. So at this point, we have not ruled gang involvement out. Thank you very much.
Thank you.